All right, we got little big brother. Oh,
Ah,
excuse me. We got Sziky down here in the bottom right-hand corner, the Hungarian Zerg player.
Sziky, the powerhouse of, I would say, Zerg. And our little brother, big little brother, small little brother, QiaoGege as the blue Protoss in the bottom left side of the map. I'm really looking forward to this game. I was looking at a lot on Sziky's stream. Sziky's streaming a lot, playing a lot, so I'm really curious how he will play against this Chinese powerhouse.
Now, since you've been watching Sziky a lot, have you seen him open with a lot of 9 pool, a lot of over pool? What is he usually showing on stream?
I would say that usually it's a 9 pool or 12 pool, never hatch first. So he's very, I would say, he's the type of player that will use each and every advantage, each and every hole that you will make in your defense, and that matches with his playstyle. You know, when you open aggressively at the beginning.
Does seem like he wants to get some aggression going here early with that 9
And
pool
we have
Overlord
a Nexus
trick.
first. A Nexus first.
Oh, this could be a first win here for Sziky, a free win since he's scouting the right direction as well. He's going to see this immediately, and he's going to clap his feet together with joy. He might be taking a first win here.
Oh my god, I think this will be a very fast game.
This going to be able to scout the right direction, but he's going to see the bad news even quicker because of that. Natural is going to be taken, but it's being taken a little later because he wanted to get the lings out as fast as possible. He's going to catch the probe here right as it comes in. QiaoGege is going to need to try and block this a bit, and he's going to have to pull a lot of probes here to try and save himself. It is a super tough situation. It is technically holdable, but you're going to lose some probes no matter what you do.
Exactly, because usually you want to have your your cannon started when the links are going out of the ramp. Here it was a little bit faster for the Zerg player. Oh, and we can see a lot of probes being pulled here. A nice pullback. 1 probe save, 2 down already. 3 down. Oh my god, that's a lot.
That's a little bit too much damage. Can he get inside the main as well? Oh, he gets in the main with 2 full HP lings. This has just gone from bad to worse. Losing, 3, 4 probes at the natural is one thing, but then having this problem in your main as well, it's too much. QiaoGege taps out.
Yeah, this was a very, like we said, a very fast game. First of all, he lost a lot of probes. Second of all, those 2 Sziky lings could deal a lot of damage. At the end of the game, if you looked at the mini tap, let's say, it was a rare situation where the Zerg had more workers than the Protoss player. So, very fast game. And Sziky is 1-0.
All right, let's jump. Let's jump right on in to our game number 2. Here we go. That first game left me hungry for more. Too quick for my liking. We got QiaoGege over here in the top right-hand corner, the Chinese Protoss player.
And 1-0 Sziky, our Hungarian Zerg. Bottom left side of the map, red Zerg. Yeah, you're right, Cyan. I would say maybe it's not a popular opinion right now. I should root for Sziky as the EU player. But I would like him to lose so that we would see yet another game. Game number 3.
Well, here on Eclipse, maybe QiaoGege can make your wishes come true. He probably not going to start with another Nexus first. I would be surprised if we got that again, but maybe going for a bit of a more middle of the road build. He's not sending anything down just yet, but that doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to go for a Nexus first. He may want to go for a gateway here without that scout early.
I think due to the type of the map, so it's a two-player map, so everyone will be scouted very, very fast. So I think both players will decide to, maybe the Protoss player will decide to play a little bit more safe this time.
It looks like he is going to throw down that forge, so
We have
shouldn't be
Forge, and we have
anything
a
crazy
similar
here.
open.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have a similar opening by Sziky. He's, like I said, he feels comfortable with those kind of aggressive openings. So should be fine. Should be interesting. Probably won't be able to deal too much of damage to our Protoss player.
Because of the lateness of the probe here, wasn't able to block that natural, but he's going to get in, do a little bit of harassment
Mhm.
on these drones, see the timing of the lings popping, and make sure that he has the cannon started well in time. Doesn't want to lose in a similar fashion to that last game. Just going to make sure that
Exactly.
that's on time.
Yeah, and then especially that he would still manage to push out his Nexus first, then follow up with a cannon. Uh, so he should be fairly in decent position, especially economic-wise. We can see at this point there's a slight difference of workers in favor of our Protoss player, and this will be only bigger thanks to this opening.
So for Eclipse, what are the challenges and advantages for Protoss? This map that's been in the map pool for such a long time. It's been kind of figured out, but in 2025, what are the biggest challenges for you as a Protoss player, Missouri?
It's the challenge is Hydra Bust. I hate Hydra Bust. Here is a relatively straightforward path. So I would say that this is a little bit of an advantage, especially that here it's easy to deny scouting, very easy. On the other hand, in favor of the Protoss player, I like 1v1 maps versus Zerg. I like in general playing against Zerg, but 1v1 maps are preferred by me because there are fewer expansions, you know? Sometimes when you play late game, you're scouting some position and just say, heck, oh my god, how come the Zerg player has a second, third, fourth expansion whatsoever, right? Somewhere in the bottom, in the corner. Here, it's relatively easy, I would say, to control the map. There aren't that many ramps, like on some maps that are in front of your expansion. So in mid-late game, I would say that Protoss is in a good position in terms of the map. But at the beginning, a little bit more difficult. What do you think
Well, I,
from
I
your
like what
perspective?
QiaoGege has done here in the entrance to the natural. He's set up a very anti-Hydra bust wall here with the cannon or the excuse me forge so far back that he can place cannons on both the top and bottom side and prevent a Hydra bus from coming in here and just killing the forge, or a fake Hydra bus coming in killing the forge, so that he can just back out easily. That's a great catch, by the way, on the first zealot coming out there. And so Sziky is getting a bit of momentum with this. He's not Hydraless busting. He's gone into his Spire, which we've seen him in all of his games versus Bonyth do, just getting the Spire out quickly and going up into 6 Hydraless play. I'm curious whether we'll ever see Sziky go for Mutalist. Have you seen him do a lot of that on stream?
Yeah, quite a bit. But usually you're right. He's more Hydra oriented. His macro is really good, and micro as well. So I think he feels more comfortable playing Hydras. Oh, this is interesting. Sziky will lose 2 Overlords. This isn't a common situation on this level in PvZ to be able to kill 2 Overlords.
We did see that game 1 versus Bonyth. He ended up getting 2 Overlord kills, but Sziky still managed to recover pretty well from those losses, and take it to a pretty decent mid game. Did stay kind of solid on Hydra Lurker for quite a long time before making the transition into Hive in those games. One way I really like to play this map as a Zerg player is by sticking on layer play and going for mutas for sniping the High Templar, because it is pretty far between the third and the natural. Like, the Protoss has a long distance to travel between those two bases, and there's lots of opportunities to snipe those High Templars and then end up kind of denying that third base. You can just stay on 3 bases and continue to pump out all those units, or you can get into a 4th base, and as the Protoss looks for their own 4th, try to overwhelm them at that point.
Yeah, when you're looking currently at the, let's say, pro meta, a lot of those Zerg players are playing this kind of battle Zerg opening. When they're opening rather mid and even late game, when they're staying on layer for a very, very long time, trying to gain advantage. But we have a small pyramid here. Nice micro by QiaoGege. Oh. That was really nice.
QiaoGege managing to trade out pretty well there, despite the overwhelming number of lings. Only a few left over at the end of that fight. He's gone for quite a few gateways pretty early on here, but he's also teched up quite hard getting into that Templar Archives. We're going to see DTs come out with this continued Corsair production, try to get a little bit of harassment going.
Yeah, this can work very, very good when you combine it with those speed zealots. But in the same time, we need to remember that QiaoGege didn't particularly scout what Sziky is doing, right? He saw only links, saw the expansion, didn't see any Hydras or mutas. Now he sees with the Dark Templar the mutas, so he can prepare, he can do more cannons, and what he's doing immediately. So that's one of the additional advantages that usually people don't think about when you have DT. You can easily scout what's going on the map.
Yeah, there's no Overlord speed here at all, so it's completely nullifying the potential for a Hydralisk bust. Tries to get this DT, almost manages to snipe that down, but it will escape for the time being. Sziky has managed to grab 44 drones. He's going to keep that number high as he adds on these additional hatches and the third gas. We're going to see lurkers started here soon for Sziky, and he's checking to make sure that there's no quick cheeky third base, and that's something you can get away with when you've managed to clear the map of overlords and you've got DTs out on the map. Sometimes you can get away with a sneaky base like that because the Zerg just can't challenge you without that overlord speed.
And in the same time, we see another expansion by Sziky. So this is go on.
Yeah, this might be the layer style. This might be Battle Zerg from Sziky if he's taking this base so early. You need a lot of units to keep this alive. And so we might see him just stay on layer here. Maybe even get some mutas out. I don't know. We haven't seen the gas get spent here just yet. Still got 600 banked up. And he's got that third gas done now. He needs to dump that into something. But what's it going to be?
If I would have to guess, I would say it will be lurkers.
We haven't seen that just yet, but I tend to agree with you. That seems to be his MO. That's the way he's been playing against Bonyth. There it is.
There it is.
Bunch of lurkers are going to morph here in the natural, and Sziky going to go up to a pretty quick 4 base. Well ahead of... Oh my gosh. My eyes are burning. Good God, what is this? I think he's got to come back here and actually kill that thing. That is a nightmare for mining right there. I think he will finally target that down because he's going to be missing out on a ton of gas, which means less lurkers for the defense coming up. Once his Protoss opponent comes out on the map, he's definitely going to want to come out and trade because this third base is quite a ways behind the fourth. And okay, this Zealot attack coming in here might be a bit annoying, but I don't think he gets the hatchery here, and that's really the problem for QiaoGege here. He needs to slow down Sziky a little bit while he's powering up on drones and getting a big chunk of lurkers. Oh, great catch over in the middle of the map. Getting a kill on one of these Corsairs is huge right now.
Yeah, especially that, as you mentioned, this kind of muta switches are quite popular, but in order to do that, you need to get rid of those initial coursers.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still flying around looking for opportunities to get some damage, but you really do want to keep those Corsairs alive. Losing them leaves you open to that type of transition. Hydra's here, tracking down a few remaining Zealots out on the map. That third base is going to start to come up for QiaoGege, but Sziky's fine with that as long as it's been delayed as much as it has. He is just going to be happy droning up this fourth base and continuing to build lurkers, getting this defense out, and eventually transitioning into Hive most likely.
I'm surprised that Sziky let the Protoss take another expansion without any fight. He had like a small control group of Hydras in front of the Protoss main, but didn't scout at all the second expansion Protoss. Oh.
Well, it's shocking to me that Sziky still hasn't corrected this mining at the third base, and I mean this map has been out for such a long time. You'd think he would have done this particular walling before this setup with the sunken colony.
It looks like he noticed because he has 4 drones with that gas, not 3 as standard. So if I would be him, I would kill that sunken. It's crazy.
Ah, there it is. He is going to kill that. There we go. Just as we mention it, he is going to finally get that kill. Can get back to mining here with full efficiency, and he will need that gas. That gas is very important. And as well as the fourth gas for getting this hive online. I also love the sunken colony starting to be pushed out of the natural. It's very difficult to defend every lane here as the Zerg player. You have to defend this top lane, the middle, kind of the upper middle, and then the lower middle as well. There's a ton of lanes on Eclipse to deal with. And so having those sunken colonies allows you a little bit more leeway because you can, defend that area with a few less units. You can have more of your units in these other lanes ready to defend.
Yeah, I fully agree, and we can see that Sziky is feeling comfortable. He just placed, I think, a Queen's Nest. Apologies. So Hive is coming. So Battle Zerg is over. Now probably we'll see a lot of lures. Soon we'll see a lot of lurker links and defilers. Now the question is,
this is a big army. This is a very big army from QiaoGege. He's thinking about taking a bit of a trade. Throwing down a few storms and backing out is probably the goal here, but the flank from Sziky is huge. Look at this, coming down from the high ground. Perfectly placed Hydras here are really going to throw a wrench into this. You do want to be able to take this trade, but you also need to be able to back out. And there is a big risk here that potentially a lot of links can start to spam out. A lot of lurkers are coming forward here. If he gets intermixed inside these Dragoons and really starts to pick off this army, it could be very bad for QiaoGege. In fact, he is going to lose quite a few of those, and he's still in danger of getting surrounded. He's got to be more careful backing out of this position. Would it be such a bad idea? Great storm, though. Oh my gosh. Running forward with those lurkers is a terrible idea in this situation, and he gets completely punished for that. What was that? 7 lurkers went down in a matter of a couple of seconds there? Oh, man.
Yeah, that's... I was like thinking, okay, it wasn't a bad move, but then I saw the storm and...
Yeah, it changes the entire dynamic there immediately as soon as that storm comes down. Now QiaoGege pushing forward with some confidence. He has a retreat path to the right of this screenshot. Zealots are getting minced up pretty good by the lurkers. He's not making much progress, kind of pushing a bit too eagerly without any storm is gonna force him back here for a moment, but bleeding in Hydras like this, maybe not the best call from Sziky. He's pulling some of the defenses from his 4th base right now. The lurkers have come down here and are starting to spread out, so he's not getting eaten alive by storm like he was earlier with that kind of poor spread. Now he's got everything spread out, but he's not in danger of like surrounding the Protoss army and completely wiping it out either.
Yeah, those 1-1 cracklings are doing amazing against the Dragoons. But in the same time, we can see that our Protoss player is taking yet another expansion. That will mean that both players and that's not very common, will be on the same amount of expansion.
Yeah, we'll see if this goes unscouted. QiaoGege might get away with this. You can see that being very active to try and shut down the potential fourth base on the top side, but not really sending it. Okay, he's sending an Overlord down to bottom right. He is going to find out about this in time. Cannons are being built, but they're not done yet. And so he could send a group of Cracklings over there to try and shut that down. But in a moment here, QiaoGege is going to be in a great position with this fourth base up and saturated with all the cannons there. Yeah, Sziky's just not quite responding to this in time. And so, I mean, this is going to become a really big and interesting game as both players spread out even further on the map, and Sziky eventually gets up into Defiler here.
Yeah, I think that once Defiler will be ready, the expansion in the bottom right will be one of the first places where Sziky will decide to go.
If he can sneak over there with a single Defiler and a good group of Cracklings, he could potentially shut that down. But as long as QiaoGege is paying attention and thinking ahead, if he gets a Templar up onto that high ground, it'll make it a lot harder to break. Lurkers coming down here, trying to get right in on top of these Zealots, but the Storms are landing pretty heavily upon them. A lot of Lings coming down to try and surround this army. Can he wipe the army? It's getting pretty close here, but the backing away from QiaoGege is pretty good. He's throwing down the Storms on the clumped up units as he falls back from this position. He's managed to keep the core army of Dragoons alive while taking big trains against Sziky so far. Again, nice Storms here to the follow-up units. These Lings are all getting hammered down as they come forward. And, I mean, Sziky is running out of momentum here. He just doesn't have much army left.
Yeah, it looks like QiaoGege is putting the pressure, not giving any breathing time to Sziky so that he can use that swarm tech.
Yeah, the Defiler just came out, and he doesn't have any units to make use of it just yet. He's got to wait for another round to come forward here. He is going to run up now. Dark Swarm Lurker. He takes the position, but quite a few units were lost, and none of the Protoss has been taken out. So, I mean, he's not got the Plague here just yet. He might be putting down that Plague here shortly. There we go. Finally, a Plague comes out. That's where the real value can come from here for Sziky. Getting those Plagues down is going to make the Lings so much more effective in these upcoming fights. But Storms, once again, ravaging this Lurker line, and he's going to kill so many Lurkers before ever engaging here, spending all that energy and then making a ton of Archons while setting up another base down here in the bottom right. QiaoGege absolutely relentless at just taking these expansions.
Yeah, it looks like that. This army composition is really, really amazing by QiaoGege. The lack of swarms of Defilers is hurting Sziky very much here. Got a lot of army, a lot of Lings that can deal a lot of damage, but lack of this Cheeto dust is very difficult for Sziky.
There's an opportunity for another big Plague coming up here. This army is just kind of sitting on the high ground in one giant clump. And so if Sziky's able to spot that from the low ground, here it is. Big Plague once again. Great value finally being had here for the Zerg player, and getting some of these little snipes on High Templar as well. Just adding a little prize here to the top, adding a little cherry on top of the cake for Sziky. Can he get another Plague? Okay, most of those were already plagued, but still doing a good job. Starting to get cost efficient here against the Protoss player before he's transitioned into Reaver in late game. Sziky will be able to get a few observers here. Still a couple left. Some of these High Templars have been plagued as well. If you can get a Plague on some High Templars, it's crazy how quickly they can actually go down. Another Plague maybe going to come out here. Yeah, on that back line. Very nice for Sziky. As everything runs forward into the Lurker lines now, this is going to start to get more and more cost efficient for Sziky. And I think that QiaoGege in danger of overextending right now. These Lings are really starting to surround this army, and the Archon number is getting kind of dangerously low. That DT with 7 kills is pretty sick, though. Still holding the line. Sziky gonna surround and finish off the last bit of this army, but we're in almost a split map situation now, Missouri. Half the map is being taken by QiaoGege in the bottom right, and then the other half being taken in the top left here. Sziky, I think we might be seeing a big battle for that top center. The only base on the map that hasn't been taken yet.
Yeah, especially that, and it looks really nice for QiaoGege because he has the, let's say, map presence. He's fighting in front of Sziky's main. That's amazing because once the Cheeto dust is put in place in front of your main, it's very difficult for the Protoss player to defend. Now he has, and I'm surprised that he's moving back. He's giving up ground. But at the same time, we can see that QiaoGege is deciding to go for reavers. That's the late game type of play that you need.
Sziky gonna make the first move to take top center. It's gonna be hard to hold that base, though, don't you think? Especially with reaver push coming that direction.
On one hand, yes, but on the other hand, look, it's a huge ramp, and lurkers under swarm. And even with a reaver, it's difficult to push up ramp.
Yeah, he's gonna have a hard time of it here, but he's got a lot of money to work with. Those 2 bases in the bottom right are gonna keep him fed for quite some time. Flying Defiler coming out of Sziky. Now this could either win him the game or lose him the game, depending on how it goes. If he throws all these units away and just dies to storming cannons, everything inside of these overlords, and he might get broken in top left. Yeah. If he breaks this base, though, it could completely change his fate in this game. I'm going to throw down all of these units. Dark Swarm immediately, as soon as he drops that, very quick reaction speed from Sziky to immediately get that Dark Swarm out. Some more units coming down for QiaoGege, though, is going to eventually clear that up, and he's not really able to make the progress he was looking for.
Yeah, Sziky should distract QiaoGege somehow, move an army, something like that, because the number of storms that we saw in this expansion was crazy. And QiaoGege reacted immediately once the Overlord just showed itself on the mini-map, so the storms were immediate. That's why the damage wasn't dealt.
Yeah, he got those storms off very, very quickly. Now, Sziky has put a lot of effort into defending that top center base. You got tons of workers over there. Great plague on a lot of these zealots. But is there enough to hold everything back here at the natural? The lurkers are going to come running down from some of the other bases on the map, just trying to get over here to defend. Oh my gosh, these zealots are running into the meat grinder. A lot of the lurkers are dying as well, though, and the zealots hold up long enough to push through. This is getting kind of crazy. He's opened up a spot right in front of Sziky's main, and he's pushing forward with a few more High Templar reaching this front. Can he continue to push in, or is he going to get completely surrounded? Ling's coming down from the north. Sziky's got his macro fully rolling here. He's hitting all his macro rounds with only 300 minerals in the bank. It's crazy how well he's doing here with that macro off of so many bases.
Yeah, and it's amazing when you look at the style limit of both players. Almost all game, both players are equally matched. The macro is amazing on both sides, so really good work, both players. Oh my God.
Ooh, a lot of those zealots go down very quickly because of the plague. Scourge finally coming out here. I really appreciate that as well. Having the Scourge in the army just to snipe some observers. It can make it so much harder for the Protoss to engage and to push some of these spots. The problem is, though, even if Sziky mines this base over in the top center, can he does he just still win this game, or does he have to do more? Does he have to kill some of the bases of QiaoGege?
And we have an answer to that. Probably he would have to, but Greater Spar is coming in, though we have still some Corsairs moving around the map and dealing damage to Sziky.
Yeah, he's gonna fly right into the main. He sees the Greater Spire with those Corsairs. That's a very big scout. Spending some of that storm energy, of course, just killing off a lurker or two, becomes worth it when you're just planning to make those into Archons anyway. Might as well spend the energy before making that Archon. How is he going to respond to this Greater Spire, though? Are we going to be seeing, Guardians hitting bottom right and trying to harass those locations? If so, QiaoGege can start to prepare for that early, continue to make Corsairs, and just have a big enough chunk of them to make it impossible for these Guardians to get anything done. Oh my gosh, there's no Overlord over here. And this is a problem with Zerg in the late game. Wow, he actually spots that. It's crazy that he saw that and is going to be able to react to it in time to the push forward here. But seems like Sziky is locked tight. He does need to get aggressive, though, at some point. Just sitting back and fighting and taking trades over and over and over again here with QiaoGege, it has a limit as to its effectiveness. Looks like a Spore Colony going to go up in the top left for some of that ground-based detection, because this DT is going to get a lot of kills otherwise.
11, 12 kills, 13.
Oof. Oh my gosh, nothing is aggroing. Come on. All right, there we go. Finally. Get some aggro. 15 kill DT will finally go down. Wait a second. 7 HP on that.
Still alive.
The number of games I've seen Missouri with a hero DT killing 15 or 20 drones is pretty ridiculous. It happens in basically every level of play.
Yeah. Quite often that's one of the things that can shift the situation in the game, right?
Absolutely. Even in one game, if you lose 15 drones, can become a very close game again. And even a complete reversal in that regard. A lot of mutas popping out here, but this Reaver push is kind of scary. You need some Hydras. He's just building Lings here to try and hold this off. Going after the Observer, he gets it. Nice snipe on the Observer. Only one more remains. If he can just get that last kill, then this push kind of stops. Going down another Plague here. Those have already been plagued. Those Reavers have already been plagued, so they're not going to be... It's not as useful to go ahead and plague that, but maybe he can target fire that down. Oh my gosh, this is getting crazy here. Sziky is breaking in the natural. I can't believe it. After all this time, he's actually starting to break here. He's got some Guardians popping out. There will be a storm to try and stop that, but you need 2 storms to kill these Guardians. He's only going to be able to kill 1 of those, and the Guardians here on the high ground should be able to hold everything off. It's just a very delicate situation now for Sziky, and oh my gosh, just keeping them so close together. It's so scary to be dealing with Storm right now. He loses a couple more Guardians. He should be able to hold the top of this ramp, but here comes even more Templar to make that an impossibility.
I wanted to just say, okay, we need the Guardians to defend, but the number of storms is just devouring the Guardians very, very fast. So, oh my god, this hero DT.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. 19. Oh, no. Sziky, come on. Get it. Get it, Sziky. Okay, there we go. Was that 21 kills? My goodness. That might actually be the tipping point here for Sziky, who's been trying to kill these Reavers for just such a long time. Finally going to run forward, target those down. Only 1 dies, so again, still pushing forward here. Killing off these lurkers. The Archons are in such a high number now that he can just run right over this base. The Hydra Den, I believe this is the second Hydralisk Den after the first one was killed. That one's probably going to be end up going down as well. He does get the Reaver Shuttle, kind of a consolation prize there, but losing that top left-hand corner base, that is a bit too much damage. And indeed, we are going to end up losing that, I believe. A lot of those drones are probably going to end up going down as these High Templars just push their way in. Lurkers coming up to try and defend, but Sziky is stretched so thin. 89 supply to 175 is not a tenable position whatsoever. It's just a matter of time here before QiaoGege manages to close this one out.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for a Reserve player. But this means that we'll have yet another game, so can't be upset about that.
No, for sure. And I mean, he played a great game. QiaoGege staying up in the face of Sziky, constantly fighting there at his natural, and finally able to find a way in. I thought it wasn't going to happen, but right as the Mutalisks were being made, there was a lack of units popping out, and GG is called. Breaking that natural turned out to be the answer to Sziky's play.
Really nice. Really nice game. Really nice late game. But like I said, in late game, the Protoss player has a little bit of an advantage. I think because of the gas-heavy type of the map, each expansion has a gas, so having a ton of Archons, Templars is just a little bit overwhelming. That's my feeling about the game, about the match on Eclipse, any PvZ.
Yeah, the architecture of the map maybe playing a bit of a factor there. Also, you know, missing that base going up in the bottom right. The same thing happened against Bonyth in game 1. He missed the base coming up and then, you know, scouted it late. The cannons were already done, and then he had to just continue on into a later and later stage of the game, which kind of ended up getting bogged down. But that's neither here nor there, guys. We're ready to jump into game number 3. Sziky versus QiaoGege. Let's get it started. All right, here he is in the top left-hand corner. Sziky, the Hungarian Zerg.
And top right, we've got QiaoGege that won the last game and is currently 1-1 with Sziky. So match point, the decider game. Who will take the best of 3 home? Okay. Metropolis. Oh, this on the other hand, this map I don't like. I feel it's very difficult to play here as a Protoss. I think few expansions and the architecture, the mid expansion is also challenging. Surprising, a very early scout from QiaoGege.
He's going to spot this 9 pool with the Overlord, or sorry, excuse me, the Extractor trick. Again, this is the build he killed QiaoGege with game number 1. QiaoGege getting greedy and going for Nexus first, ended up falling right into the trap. Here, though, he should be able to play safe.
Yeah, I think this was the change in this opening, right? I feel that QiaoGege wanted to open with an X first, but decided to go with a probe scout first, just to make sure that he won't lose the game to any early aggression.
Well, if he didn't scout first, he would have been maybe in a bit of trouble, but now that he's seen everything, double cannon going to be thrown down here, and we'll see if Sziky actually makes ling. Like, how many lings is he planning to make? Okay, full 6, which does give him the potential to kill, but as soon as he sees that natural, he's going to know that there's no real way for him to get that damage. He'll just have to be happy with QiaoGege being forced to, you know, slow down his Nexus and build these extra cannons. And also, he'll be happy that QiaoGege spawned in the top right rather than the bottom left, which can be a problem for the Zerg player here. Like, if you can't take this hatch, or if you can't take this third base too easily, if it's towards the Protoss player, it gets a little dicey. And also, the Protoss's third base will be towards you, which makes it harder for them to secure easily. And so I think he's going to be pretty happy with the spawn locations here. Sziky is.
Yeah, I feel that you're right. If Sziky would have to take the 12 o'clock expansion, it would be a long distance. So could bite him in the late game, mid-late game. But now it looks really good. And I think that he's very happy with the 2 forge opening. 2 cannon opening by QiaoGege. It always delays a little bit the next expansion, what means that any potential timing push in the mid game is also delayed.
He's just gonna scout that front now, seeing what's up. Overlord headed into the main. Once they get a confirmation on the follow-up tech here from QiaoGege back at home, been making his lair and just continuing to fight this probe. He's been so relentless at just keeping this probe off of his side of the map and pushing it further and further and further back. Now his Ling's speed is on the way. Doesn't have anything in front of the natural now, so this is the opportunity maybe for QiaoGege to slip a Zealot out here and try to find his way into the main or third base, but will he take that opportunity? Yes, sending these Zealots out now. No Overlord here to spot this, and so Sziky may be caught by surprise. We'll see, though.
Yeah, it can deal a lot of damage. 2 Zealots are dealing with 6 links easily.
Nice thing here for Sziky is he doesn't have to engage. He does lose 1 Ling, though. Losing 1 Ling initially is rough. Just falling back, waiting for a few more Lings to pop out. He's actually supply blocked right now. Can't make anything in the main base. Look at all that.
Oh my god, that drill.
Sitting there. Great drill. Absolutely fantastic surround there on that first Zealot. He does lose 1 drone, but he avoids a bit of disaster there with both Zealots getting behind the mineral patches. Does make them take a very good trade if they're able to get that spot. And here he is with some excellent micro behind the mineral patches as well, clearing all of this up. Very good hold by Sziky. Might have missed a little bit of a round of drones, though, with that miss on the Overlord, though. We'll see how he rounds out this economy and whether or not he's able to do something with these Lings here. Maybe get a little bit of a run by. I mean, 2 cannons, pretty tough to get any Lings in there when those 2 cannons are active. Is he going to try for it? No. Does just fall back.
If you would have 4 Lings more, I think he would have tried for it.
As it stands, hanging back here, will have some Scourge popping out in a moment, avoiding the supply block. From that Corsair, getting the initial kill on that Overlord, and it looks like the Corsair will escape back home, at least for now. Sziky building up into just another standard game, it looks like. Will he mix it up, though? I'd love to see at least mixing in some mutas at some point in one of these series. He's been very consistent with Hydra Lurker, though, so far.
I like the fake push out with those initial 3, no, maybe not initial, but with those 3 Zealots.
Putting on that little bit of pressure has actually forced quite a few Lings. And gonna follow this up with a second gateway here in the natural. Maybe try to get a few extra Zealots out for this timing when the +1 finishes, just to kind of surprise. Oh my gosh, baiting out a Zealot, almost loses that. Good interactions forced here by Sziky, looking for a little bit of extra value where he shouldn't be able to find much, and he is indeed building a lot of Hydras now, getting into this what seems to be Sziky's game plan, his standard follow-up play.
5+1 Zealots, that's at this point in the game a force you need to reckon with.
He's managed to keep quite a few of these Lings alive. They're not going to be great for fighting the Zealots, but at least they do some body blocking and allow the Hydras to get that extra damage going. SimCity's looking good here, and I think this is a perfect opportunity for Sziky to just power up like crazy. He's going to force these Corsairs back. That's a good 5 Corsairs there, but it's tough for them to stand up against the Scourge and the Hydras to get any Overlord kills. DT's sneaking out. Doubt it'll get as much damage as that DT in the last game, though. Things are quite a bit tighter here with just 3 bases, and so Sziky should be on top of it.
Yeah, it would be difficult to overcome that. I don't know how much it was. 20 kills, 21, 22, something like that, right?
Yeah, it was a ridiculous amount of kills, but one that we see all too often in those late game situations. It's so hard to pay attention to all the mineral lines, and you don't get any sort of notification when the DT is attacking. So if you're not paying full attention to all your bases, which is hard to do, that sort of rampage can absolutely happen. And QiaoGege set that up nicely by killing off Overlords initially, opening up those positions for that attack. But so far, looks like Sziky's got Overlords just about everywhere. He's ready and waiting on the top of this ramp as well. You're just never going to take a good fight with Zealots pushing up a ramp like that with so many Hydras standing at the top.
You're right. What is this drone doing? Is he really trying to take the 12 o'clock?
Well, that's probably not going to work, I'd say. What do you think, Mazur? That's seems unlikely.
One hand, yes. On the other, if he would manage to sneak it in, then he's closing one of the routes, right? He's got a high ground advantage, and he's closing one of the routes that the Protoss player can use to move out. Oh, good lurker, morph.
Can't do that anymore, though, because he is supply block. Zealots making their way over to the natural. And quite a few Overlords going down here. Sziky looks like you lose the drone. Headed to bottom left. Got to bring an Overlord with a play like that. You know ADT is on the map, but didn't end up seeing that. Not able to stop it. Will send out another drone here shortly. Most likely try to get that 4th base going as 11 minutes ticks past its time to set that up, or just completely try to deny this 3rd base. I don't see that quite happening. Getting in here and stopping QiaoGege from taking that base on high ground is going to be tough.
I'm really impressed with the Corsair and Dark play in this game by QiaoGege. Really a lot of work sniping to a drone, denying a push. It's really amazing. And supply blocking in a couple of moments in the Sziky. So it's an amazing execution.
He's done a great job. I think the most impressive thing from Sziky, though, is these little skirmishes that he keeps getting with the Hydras. Constantly, baiting in some units, picking off a Dragoon here and there. That's drop into the main, though. Mazur, I think we might end up seeing him break that record. You've got to be kidding me. So many drones are falling. He's going to lose every drone in this main base, and again, this is a thing we see all too often. Even at the very highest level, it is very hard to recognize when something like this is happening. And if he never attacks a building, he can kill every single drone, and you'll never get a notification. 17 kills, my gosh, it's close. It's not quite exceeding that, but it is close. And Sziky sees it now. His heart drops, his heart sinks. He knows what a bad situation he's in. Suddenly, his chances of winning this game have dropped sharply.
Yeah, now it's all about containing the Protoss. That's the only possible way to come back to this game by Sziky, because he has they took another expansion more or less in the same time, but look at the supply limit. The Protoss player is 30 C limit above the Zerg player. Okay, now 20. 18. 19. Okay.
Very close, very close. Not bad for a DT, huh? It's all right, I
Okay.
guess. Could be better.
Not
Anyway,
bad. Maybe
he's got
he'll do some
pretty-
brothers.
pretty decent contain here at the front. Gonna be hard to break out of here, but the moment that QiaoGege does break this contain, the game is likely gonna end. There's not a whole lot you can do when you commit this heavily into the contain after losing this much. And so he's going to run forward, kill all 3 observers. Wow. Does manage to get rid of all of those. Drop into the main base is going to be quite frustrating. Oh my god, these Scourge. Absolutely blind and dumb. Just going to be sitting inches away from this dropship, and he allows the Spire to go down. Man, it is getting so rough for Sziky. I really feel for him here.
Yeah, and look at the timing of everything, right? He decided to move out with his initial push to break the contain, and at the same time he moved his Zealot, the drop Zealot, into the Zerg main, just to distract him.
He's going to do it again here. You can see the Zealots are engaging. Time to move forward with these observers, and of course with all the Dragoons. Taking this fight right as Sziky is busy back at home. There's not many lurkers behind this. Desperate to snipe down that observer, but not able to get it. Sziky is going to be broken here, and the army is unleashed out on the map. No way to defend all these bases at the same time. It's the writing on the wall here for Sziky as he runs forward with a few more lurkers, but the Dragoon number is just so high, and the storms are going to land exactly where they need to be. Sziky's army has been completely wiped out. 86 supply. He taps out. QiaoGege takes the series.
Easy.